Revelation 19. Beginning with verse 11. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. And he who sat on it is called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he judges and wages war. His eyes are a flame of fire, and on his head are many diadems. And he has a name written on him which no one knows except himself. It will be the most spectacular, the most dynamic. It will be the most jaw-dropping thing that has ever occurred in history that was real. Sony Pictures can't compete with it. Sci-fi will be embarrassed by it because this will be real. Jesus made it clear that if I rise from the dead, then everything else must in fact be true. Of course, if Jesus has not risen from the dead, we shouldn't even be here today. But if the resurrection is true, then everything else he has prophesied is equally true. The second coming of Jesus Christ will come at the conclusion of an event. Let me lay it out for you, show you a couple of key scriptures so that you can grasp it, because there's so much to it that as best as I can, I want to summarize it for you. The tribulation is the 7-year period of time after the rapture of the church where God will reestablish his program with Israel. Now, the reason he must reestablish his program with Israel is because God's revelation was to come through Israel. His written and living revelation was to come through his sovereign choice of the nation Israel. Because of Israel's rejection of Messiah, God has placed them aside for the time being to work with the church. The church will be raptured, as we have seen, introducing the 70th week of Daniel, or the last 7 years of history as we now know it. There will be a peace treaty signed. We've already seen this, by the Antichrist, and he will seem like the answer to the Middle East conflict. He will establish a peace treaty. This Antichrist will arise out of Europe, the 10 toes of Daniel, overseeing the now already built European Confederation of nations that now exist in Europe, where the Bible prophesied that there would be a common currency. It's now in place, the euro. And so the Antichrist will arise, and he will be this peacemaker in the first half of the tribulation. Satan understands that to block the second coming of Christ, he's got to get rid of Israel. Because Israel is the one thing standing in the way of him nullifying the promises of God. Because God promised it would come through Israel. Israel has rejected him. Therefore, he must get rid of Israel so that they do not respond to him. And so when you get to this part of prophecy, Israel is on center stage.